Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. Here with my partner, Mr. Tate Mathews. Tate, we've come to the end of the football season. Another great run by the Page Patriots. They fall short in the state championship game for the fourth straight years. Sometimes you shoot for the stars and you fall into the clouds. Great season by Coach Rathbone and his team.
Unbelievable season. Just one game, one weekend, one night short, but of their ultimate goal, which was to win the state championship. So, but unbelievable season, unbelievable team, unbelievable senior class, coaching staff, community. It was great, man. It's just sometimes you don't know what the plan is, but obviously this is part of it. And I love Coach Rathbone's quotes. You know, their goal was to win the state championship, but that's not what their purpose is. Their purpose is to hopefully invest in these young people that they're going to be great fathers and husbands and community members and leaders in the community, which I think when you look at that group of seniors, and I think we do have a lot of great ones coming out. Can't wait to see what they have planned for them. So you're right. They shoot for the stars, come up short, but they were still got pretty high.
27-20, Page loses to Sevier County in the championship, and we just got to call it the way we got to call it. It was a night of uncharacteristic mistakes.
It was.
They had 11 penalties. They had some untimely turnovers. They had a couple of bounces that kind of went against them. If you take a look at the stats, Tate, total offense, Page, 311 yards. Sevier, 184. First downs, Page, 18. Sevier, 11. But the one that really stands out, fumbles, they both had 2. Sevier recovers both. Page loses both. Just really I think it's the tale of the game. The penalties, the turnovers, and again, just some untimely mistakes on their part, which happens. Listen, for those of you who are critics out there, and I know we've got a few.
Yeah.
First of all, if I'm a coach, please compare me to the Buffalo Bills. That
Correct.
means I've been to finals 4 straight years. The number of finals I was in, 0.
Marv Levy,
I mean, come on.
Hall of Fame.
I mean, come on.
Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame. Thurman Thomas, Hall of Fame. Bruce Smith, Hall of Fame. Andre Reed, Hall of Fame.
I mean, give me a break. So, number one, and then I got a little homework.
Ooh,
I got a little homework assignment for the viewers. You know, educate the viewers.
Yes.
Look up, there's a great poem out there, The Man in the Arena. It's great.
Yes.
It's easy to be an armchair quarterback. It's easy to critique. Listen, they've got to be proud of this. They've got to be super proud of it. And by the way, I'm kind of jumping around here, but it leads me to this week's gym. Little stat for you, courtesy of our man Charles Pulliam.
Of course.
Before the senior class arrived, Page had 13 straight seasons making the playoffs. They didn't get past the second round in any of those. 4 straight finals. It's nothing but a great accomplishment. Of course they want to win 1.
Yes.
Of course they do. They want to win 4. But nothing wrong with runner-up 4 times, I can tell you that. And I know they're down about it. They feel so disappointed. But when time heals all wounds, they'll realize what a great accomplishment it was.
No doubt about it. And I think they probably already have, or the ones that were involved in it, you know. But, and, you know, it's easy to do because this team was so dominating. But, you know, Sevier County was 14-0. And I went and looked at their schedule, and they didn't, you know, they weren't playing the county dump or the Andrew Jackson dump or anything like that. I mean, they had some, just like Page did, that weren't, you know, the toughest of opponents, but there were tough teams on that schedule. And
West, Powell, Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Knoxville West. We've long ago said we're not,
Correct.
doing that.
You know, I think it's safe to say that they maybe had a tougher road to, or I guess coming this way, or that way. They had a tougher road to Chattanooga than maybe Page did. So they're a good football team. It's not an excuse. It just is what it is. It wasn't their night. They got beat. Do I think if they played 10 times, Page wins 6 or 7 of them? Yeah, I do. But it wasn't in the cards for Friday night. But 4 straight state championships, I don't think that'll be duplicated. I don't see anybody doing that, and it's a heck of an accomplishment. And you're right, man. I think you said it best at the beginning. If you want to compare me to the Buffalo Bills, I'm all good with that.
Come on, bring it.
That was a great dynasty. But and I didn't want to soapbox, but you kind of did a little bit. So we've said it before. Hey, man, all these critics out there, they're smart people. Go get you a teaching certificate.
That's right.
Go get you a teaching certificate, and go get a team. Or better yet, tell me the next time you're coaching a flag football team or a basketball team, whatever, and I'll come check it out. And I'm willing to bet you're not real great at it.
Yeah, and you don't get to watch the game and listen to the announcers and go, I don't know if I ever told you this story. It's worthy of this discussion. First game I ever coached. It was a freshman.
How old are you? 25?
25, 26. I'm coaching the freshman girls basketball team at Beach. First of all, when the game started, I was like, man, this is so fast, I can't keep up. But I had a young lady my first year, she got her fourth foul, and I had no idea in the first half. And she goes, hey, coach, this is my fourth foul.
Oh,
I was like, huh? I've got my fourth foul. I was like, oh, no. I mean, there's a lot going on. Had nobody there to help me, no assistant. So it looks easy, but it's not that easy, man.
Yeah.
The Saturday morning Parks and Rec League, where you have to play everybody the same amount of time, it's a little different, folks, than being there on the big stage like Coach Rathbone and his staff. So, listen, I know, again, that's a soapbox, but it's just the absolute truth. Until you walked in another man's shoes, you don't know.
That's right.
You don't know.
Elvis had a hit, Walk a Mile in My Shoes.
That's a great song.
Great song. Great message.
What about this, Tate? I thought the play that really sort of was indicative of the entire game. It's 10-7 late in the half. Page has the ball. Weebush to Knight Wilson. Great play. Touchdown. Gets called back with a penalty. Not critiquing that. Maybe it could have been. Maybe it wasn't. So now they're going to attempt a 46-yard field goal to end the half. What happens? Blocked. The ball bounces right up. Touchdown. So we were thinking at worst 10-7. It was almost 14-10.
Right.
Could have been 10-10. I'd have never thought 17-7.
Correct.
Just a big turn. And I thought that was the first time in the game where Sevier really thought they were going to win. Not that they thought they were going to win, but I think they knew it was going to be a little bit of an upset for them to take care of Page. From that point, it just seemed like Page was just behind the stick, so to speak, the rest of the game.
Yeah. Well, and I think that you didn't, when we got there, I can't tell you how many text messages I got. Man, these guys are huge. This offensive line is huge. These guys are bigger than I thought they were going to be. They're not a team you really want to get down to, because once they're up, then, and again, you mentioned at the beginning, the total offense doesn't reflect that. But I did feel like that too. I do feel like them getting ahead and Page having to come from behind, that big line was able to lean on them a little bit. And
they had the ball to start the second half.
They had the ball to start the second half. And I mean, it's just some guys that were playing both ways, for Page that normally doesn't. A lot of snaps. So even though the defense was, stopped them at the end to give them another shot, I feel like that size was able to become a factor in the game, and fatigue a little bit, But when you play that many snaps and you got that total poundage leaning on you, anybody would. So didn't need to get down. And if I remember correctly, I think they were down 17-7 last year too, right?
They were at the half. And it was the same kind of thing, sort of a weird,
yep.
I forget the exact setup, but something happened there at the end of the half that was a little bit different, sort of like this one. Then you start that third quarter, Sevier's got the ball, they keep it 6 minutes. Looks like Page is going to hold them to a field goal attempt. Couple of penalties. Ends up being a touchdown.
Offsides.
Now it's 24-7.
Right.
I think I saw where Brendan Ains had said, Mr. Football finalist, he and Eric Hazard, they're going to find out this week, the winner of that, said we might have been pressing a little bit, kind of felt that as a team. And you could see it, really, that they were pressing. But I give Page credit.
And I think that is one drawback of the three runner-ups. I could see how it's happened 3 times before. I could see you pressing a little bit. It's human nature, right?
It is 24/7, but give Page credit. They immediately respond with a touchdown. William Weebush with the score. Fourth quarter, they get down 27-13. They score again late. Weebush run. You talked about the defense gets a big stop. They score with a minute and a half to go. Onside kick. Couldn't recover it. By that time, all that Sevier County had to do was kneel it down to get that state championship 27-20. Tough way to end.
Tough way to end, man. But nothing to be ashamed about. I'm dang proud of them.
I am too. I really am. And I know, and they've got some guys coming back now.
Heck yeah.
Which we'll get to later. For those of you that will be returning, you'll have your day to be talked about.
Yes.
Right now, that senior class, and when you talk about that Page senior class, obviously you got to talk about what I call the big three. Weebush, the Wake Forest signee, Ains, the Tennessee signee, and of course our guy, Eric Hazard.
Did you notice his gloves?
Going to Louisville. I tell you this about Hazard too. There's certain
Is that right?
people.
Yeah, it's that. Sorry.
I try not to pay attention. There's certain people that you come across in a job like mine. I don't have really personal relationships with the young people here like I did as a coach, obviously. But when you're around that guy, it's pretty special. He is a neat young man.
Yep.
So I can't wait to see what's next for all of those people, all those young men. But he's pretty special. He is, Eric Hazard.
He gets it.
60 starts, 52-8.
He gets it. He's got a great personality, great way about him. He's confident, looks you in the eyes, polite. Yeah, man, he's all the things. Once he gets done in Louisville, I'd hire that guy. But 60 straight starts, man. So that means a lot of things. One, he started as a freshman.
Yep.
More than likely 15 years old. 15.
We talked about this.
All those snaps, and you don't miss a game for injury?
Something I didn't realize when we were talking about this last week, that at best you could tie that record, but we were talking about Division II. Well, they've got 14 games.
Right.
When they saw one big division, you'd have been hard-pressed to find any of those teams make the finals 4 straight years when it was the 15-game season. So at most, you're tying that record.
Right.
But I'd say there's a chance. No one's done that.
Not that I know. I mean, the only other two are, I don't think Oakland did. Oakland did 4 of the last 5, but I don't think they did 4 in a row. Okay, they did. You got Alco and Maryville. So if somebody at Maryville or Alco has done it,
as a freshman, started as a freshman,
first game, not and that you have freshmen that start, but they usually don't start the very first 2 because usually
right.
It's at least close enough that you got a senior that you maybe give a shot to. Yeah, at best, all you can do is tie it.
It's pretty neat.
And again, I can't stress enough. I mean, he never got sick. Of course, he got sick. He never missed a game for being sick or banged up or hurt. That's tough as nails, man.
It's tough.
And I think that's a big thing too that we talk about it all the time. I think towards building the depth for these younger guys, man. That's. So if you play in 4 straight state championship games in D1, then you're playing 5 extra games.
2 extra seasons.
2 extra seasons. That's 2 extra seasons of practice, reps.
Right.
If you're playing snaps in the game, you can't. I mean, everybody else is. The bins have been out and filled and put back up so long they're already collecting dust and you're still playing.
Bins. It's plastic bin time.
Plastic bin time.
It's plastic bin time for everybody now.
That's right.
They're all put up.
Unfortunately, we're in December and now they're all up.
Tate, to kind of put a bow on this football season.
Real quick, on top of Page, we had an Arkansas signee and we also had a UT Chattanooga signee too.
That's right. So, that's right.
Along with all the other ones in the district. Congratulations. Big deal.
That day's a little different.
It's changed
than it used to be. It's almost like the portal days are just as big. And that's kind of too bad.
It's gross.
But
it is.
Now listen, I like how you just kind of hitting this thing head on. I got a lot of comments, very positive comments about your clown show of the week last week.
You did? Any upset ones?
No, it was great. It was all, well, I mean, we live in the land of UT, so everybody enjoyed that.
It was pretty bad. Hey, by the way, speaking of, can we get off a little bit? I noticed they took the birds down at UTC. I'm not so sure they didn't see. I'm telling you, there used to be bird banners and windscreens and things like that. I think maybe they're watching Sports Connection. They saw, we thought that was goofy.
So, again, to wrap this thing up, our pick'ems for the year. Everybody goes 0-1. The fans end up 67-18.
Not good, fans.
69-16 for Tate Mathews.
Not good, Tate.
Dr. Qualls and I, 70-15. Now, I'll say this.
A tie?
I know, and you warned me. I think this is maybe like a first. I'm going to give myself the clown show of the week. I'm going to wear the big tie.
You are the clown show of the week.
I am. First of all, you know how much I hate ties. All I talk, not
Yes.
this tie. I don't like this tie. I like wearing it. And
Would you like a bow tie?
well, no,
Or can I answer you in a nose?
not putting the hat on. I have the nose. I'm not gonna hold it up there like you do. All I talk about is how much I hate when there's a tie. And what do? You actually warned me last week and said, hey, maybe and listen, you might have picked Severe just because you had a chance to win if there'd been a tiebreaker.
Correct.
So really, you could have tied us up. So what I'm saying, Dr. Qualls, I know you tied for first, but it's an illegitimate result. It really is. So I'm not good at the voice, but I know we've got great special effects here. So Mr. Mathews, let's do the clown of the week.
Hey kids, it's your district athletic director, Coach Darrin joins. We have set up a system in Pick'ems to where we can have a tie at the end of the season. And a tie is like having to kiss your sister or your second aunt that you only see at Thanksgiving or Christmas. But that's the system we've done. So Coach Qualls, guess what you get for winning the Pick'ems of the week? A kiss from Aunt Judy at the Centerville Christmas family reunion.
What have we done? You went a little longer than I planned.
Did you get tired?
I got lost, tired, got out of breath.
What do you win?
Aunt Judy. So
Centerville, Adelatville.
So, and look, we can't go back.
No, you can't. The system is the system. We can change it we can change the bylaws for next year.
We should never have a tie.
Never.
You warned me.
I kind of did, man.
You didn't kind of warn me. You definitely warned me. So I apologize to all the.
Well, it's anticlimactic.
It is. No good. It's no good. So, Tate, we always talk about this. We got the All-Star game coming up. I know you're heavily involved in that. Is that this week?
Yes, Saturday. But
talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so the TACA, Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association East-West All-Star Game. I think it's the 17th year. They do a great job. There is one. We've had several of our players throughout the years playing. It's a great experience. It's often imitated but never duplicated. Mr. Marbett and the Coach Marbett and the crew, the TACA crew. It's at no charge to the coaches, no charge to the athletes. I don't know of any of the other ones that can state that, but all these young people that are playing in it costs them nothing. They put them up in a hotel for the week, the coaches for a week, and they get coached. They want them to understand. That's why it's on a college campus. They want them to understand what college football is like. A lot of them already know where they're going, but it's another chance to be seen for those that are unsigned. And there's been several that have gotten offers that come out of it, but really cool. They gear them up with the stripes, the 3 stripes, and it's really neat. And let me give you an example. You know who the head coach of the East is?
Who is that?
Charles Rathbone. So Friday night, gets home, I guess, has the weekend for his family, and then Monday he's got to report to Clarksville. He doesn't get paid anything. Yeah, he gets some gear, gets to fellowship, gets some good meals and some hotels, but there's no stipend that comes with it. But he's the head coach of the East, and we've got several players playing in it. So one change this year, it was always played on Friday night. It's going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock, Forterra Stadium at the Austin Peay State University. Coach Qualls, Dr. Qualls govs up. You can buy tickets on TACA. I think they're TACA.org, aren't they? TACA.org.
I think that's right, yes.
You can buy the tickets there, but we got several players in there. We've got a few coaches in there, and again, Coach Rathbone's the head of the East. But it's a great event. If nothing else, stream it and watch it. It's one more chance to see our seniors playing in it, and I'm really excited about it. I think most of our schools are represented. So,
Tate, I know they appreciate your involvement in that too. So, it's bittersweet.
it's bittersweet.
It's always a bittersweet time of year, but we've got other sports going on. Now, I want to give you a little tally sheet. We're 4 sports in, okay? Team-wise.
Yes.
4 state championships, 3 runners-up, 2 Final Four. Not bad.
And 1 all Wilco final.
That's right, which is a lot of fun.
That one was fun.
So now we're in that season of basketball, wrestling, bowling before we go to our spring sports. So I know it's been primarily football the past few weeks. I did want to give a couple of updates from some other sports in basketball. Now, Media Day.
It was great.
It was great, but I want to point this out. And I'm not saying it's not going to be what happens. But I believe when we talked about on the boys' side, you said this is the year for the Admirals.
Yes.
And by the way, it may be. But we all would agree that Hillsboro is kind of that team, right? Everybody's like, the Hillsboro Burros, they're going to be tough to beat. So Franklin.
It's a good test.
Franklin hosts Hillsboro. Great game. Hillsboro wins 63-52. Now, my prediction, and I'm not saying it won't be Franklin, but my prediction was the title goes to Independence.
Where it currently resides.
That's right.
The title.
Right. The title, but definitely the local.
Yeah.
Independence hosted Hillsboro, and not only did they win, they won 68-47, 21 points. Tylen Lewis, he can't score. 26 points.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't?
He can do whatever he needs to do.
Pretty much he can do anything. Dawson Miller, 18 points. I'm telling you, and I think of any team, they could be one that definitely improves as the season goes along. Now, I would say this, to your point on Franklin, because I think they'll be in there with a shot too. Franklin, you have to replace a guy like Davis Long, that's pretty tough. I would argue, don't at me, that's just as tough or tougher
You want me to get out the rules?
than replacing Jet Montgomery, because Davis was handling the ball. In basketball, that point guard position, I'm just telling you, it's pretty tough. And Davis, obviously, multi-year starter. So I do think Franklin will be a team that will really improve as the year goes by, too. I would also say on the girls' side, like we thought, Nolensville playing well, Page playing well, Brentwood playing well. Brentwood boys playing well, Page boys, Nolensville boys. We got a lot of teams. Summit, I know early on, undefeated. I know Coach Burgess, I reached out to him. He was like, the schedule's going to get tougher, but he's got them playing well. On the boys' side in particular, wide open this year.
You think so?
I do. Well, in terms of anyone can beat anyone.
I agree.
And let's don't forget Centennial. That's your quote-unquote dark horse. They got 3 really good juniors.
Don't know how they can be a dark horse, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're my sleeper pick. Well, so did you get the scores? I think you did. Did you say Franklin lost 63-52 to Hillsboro and Independence beat them 68-47? You did give the score. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean,
blowout.
So it seems to me, hey.
Oh, but not a.
Same rules apply for basketball, okay? If you need a copy, come to the central office. Ask for Dr. Jeremy Qualls. Actually, yeah, we could have. Hillsboro
sort of won the pick'ems this year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't really know what that was all about, other than I think you're smarting from the fact that you tied. And because if I didn't know any better, if I didn't know how much you love Franklin Admiral basketball, some could say that you came across as an Independence homer, kind of like the former district athletic director was accused of. I don't think that's what you were doing. So I think that's an open wound coming back from rewind about 8 minutes. I think you're still mad about the.
I'm definitely mad about
the time of
which
Pickens.
reminds me of a Dr. Since we're picking on Dr. Qualls, it reminds me of a Dr. Qualls story, and you were kind of alluding to he's kind of a front runner, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So
Well, I don't know if he's a front runner. He's just an Alabama football fan, Kentucky basketball fan, Golden State Warrior NBA fan, and a Kansas City Chiefs NFL fan.
So I would tell you this. We had a nice little run going there at Franklin, and we're going into year 3, and we've just been to the sub-state and looking like we might make the state tournament. I invite Dr. Qualls to the Franklin High School Christmas parade. Said, hey, ride on the basketball float with us. Would you do that? Sure. So he's on the basketball float. I think there's a picture around there somewhere, he and I waving at the crowd, and I'm
pretty sure he's pointing at the crowd.
I'm sure the folks at Summit were giving him a hard time.
Big time.
For riding on the float with the Franklin High School team. And I can remember that one of the players said, hey, Coach, he's the district AD. He's supposed to be, is he allowed to do that? And I said, everybody loves a winner. So what I'd say, Indy, I like winners. Franklin's winners too.
Are you riding on the? Are you going to ride in the in the parade?
If I get asked, I will.
That's what I was about to say. Did anybody else?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
One other team invited. One other school invited him over the years. He told me Ravenwood football.
Smart.
And I've actually been in the Ravenwood parade too. They invite me for that too. So if you want me in the parade,
all you got to do is call me.
Well, anyway,
if I'm available.
We digress.
Here is what I take from that, though.
I want to hear this. Go ahead.
No, the thing I take from the brand of ball that Coach Tweet plays at Hillsborough, you don't score 68 points against them. So I would love to know what the field goal percentage for the Eagles was. I bet it was lights out because they don't give you a chance to shoot that many times.
That game, I believe
they made most of them.
I believe that game was Friday night, the same night as the state championship football game. But I think this is right, that the comments were they were raining threes there in that second quarter.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Field goal percentage had to have been.
It's fun. I'm looking forward to it. So I like to, stoke the fire, poke the bear. That Franklin-Indy rivalry, just like I would say Indy-Ravenwood, has been kind of fun the last few years.
It's getting ready to get turned up.
Let's make it fun again.
Speaking of Franklin, did you see?
And by the way, Coach Adkins and his crew, Coach Addison, who we all love, I'm sure he is going straight to Coach Tigert. He's got this queued up at the exact right time.
Did you see what they said? No, he said. Did you see the Gateway Tire Athletes of the Week? Charlie Pulliam and Garth put that out. Did you see what Brandamore did? I think it was against the Hillsborough.
She's playing great.
She scored 38 points, 14 rebounds, 4 steals, and 4 blocks, I think.
And she's a junior?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's strong.
She's a player. She is. I wouldn't say she's in the lead, but she's definitely one of the candidates for Player of the Year in the league.
She's a preseason favorite.
She's doing well. Hey, I did want to mention this too. Our wrestling teams going strong. Black Horse Invitational, that's in Germantown.
It's a tough tournament.
It is. 35 teams. Father Ryan wins it with a score of 243. Nolensville finishes third, 193. Summit fourth, 179.5. Now, Nolensville had 8 wrestlers in the top 8. Chase Mays wins at 190. Summit has 7 wrestlers in the top 8. Zachary Little, we know that name, 150. Braden Leach, 157. Peter Savarino, 285. They win 3, and they had 3 what I'd call starters out. So Summit, Nolensville, look out for them. Hey, some other results I did want to mention. Brentwood finishes 4th at the 45th Annual Huntsville Invitational. Jackson Ard wins at 285. Ethan Ward of Page, his 100th career win. Page with wins over Centennial and Ravenwood. They did lose a duel to Franklin. So wrestling, we'll have another great year in wrestling too.
Yeah, we are. Nolensville and Summit and Brentwood got to be at the favorites this year. I do think that's interesting. Nolensville had one winner.
I did too.
And beat Summit, placed point totaled higher than Summit, who had 3. That's interesting.
So I asked Coach Miller that question, and he said they were only represented in 11 of the 14 classes. So Nolensville gained some points in those other weight classes.
Did well.
Did really well. Yeah. That's a great question. Hey, here was something that was exciting. As we've talked about on this show before, We're part of the Middle School State Association now. We've got some state championships in that. This is the first year we're going to have a wrestling state champion. I think that's kind of cool. And the way they're going to do it, there's going to be a duals championship for boys. And then the girls, there's an individual tournament. So I thought that was kind of neat.
I think it's great.
So the girls can actually wrestle on the duals team, and some have. But the individual tournament, and that's how I talked to Coach Grindstaff, Jared Grindstaff, who's now principal out at Mill Creek. He did a great job of growing the girls' side of the sport, and they hosted that tournament, which I thought was completely awesome. Page High School in the large classification, they make it to the 4-team state tournament. It'll be held at Cleveland this week.
Very cool.
And then Fairview at the small class, they make it as well. And I did want to mention these individuals. And by the way, Tate, the top 2 make it to the state tournament on the girls' side. So we had some third place finishes. Zoe Nelson, Spring Station, Evelyn Shivers, Thompson Station, Elena King, Thompson Station. These 4 make it to the state tournament, all from Spring Station. They get a second. Celine Erdemeyer at 135, 128. Veda Kiasen from Spring Station, she's the champion. At 121, the champion. Liliana Palmieri, and at 114, Addison Borden, all Spring Station. Those 4 young ladies from Spring Station make it to that individual state tournament. I know I said a lot, but it had to be said.
It's important.
I love what we're doing in wrestling in particular. I really like what's going on at the middle school level with these state championships.
Yeah, that's very cool, and I'm glad Cleveland, kind of no surprise there, but glad Cleveland's taking that on.
And they should.
And they should, and hosting it, but the growth is unbelievable. But that's where it starts, right? That's where it starts.
It does.
If you're not doing it in the middle school on the club level, you're going to get left behind when you get up into the high school level. So, there are athletes out there that can do it, but if you just show up and start wrestling once you get to high school, you're behind. So that's what you've seen. You've seen these guys, the Summits, the Nolensville has started it too, but like Summit Indy, when you have that club and that middle school emphasis, it usually translates into success when you get to the high school level. Very cool, man. So do you think they're going to add a boys tournament, individual tournament sooner than later, right?
I think we will at some point.
Yeah.
The thought was this, which I love. Mark Reeves was definitely a big part of this, the executive director. He has a wrestling background. Joe Blair, big time part of it. And then Richard McWhirter, Emily Crowell, they head up the middle school portion of the TSSAA. They felt like the duels, that was a way to get people excited about it, because even though the individual tournament is a team, there's a team winner too.
Right.
It's not like my school against your school though. They felt like that was the best way for growth, and I agree.
I agree too. And a lot of the female teams or ladies teams, they might not have full rosters.
Yeah, they don't. We're not there
So doing
yet.
the duels is hard.
This
This is the way to do it.
They really couldn't do the duels
Right.
on the girls' side. I think we had maybe 9 young ladies participate in that tournament at Mill Creek, and I just read off 7 of them.
Yeah.
That did well. I think it was 9 total that maybe wrestled during the year. That number will grow, and it'll help the high schools.
Quickly. It'll grow quickly.
Tate, always great to see you.
Yeah, man. It's exciting. It's basketball. Like you said, it's basketball, wrestling, bowling season. But another great football season, bow on it. And, well, as we said, we got one more game on Saturday for several of our football players. But to all the teams out there, and especially the Page Patriots and the Ravenwood Raptors, job well done, fellas.
Job well done. I'll see you next week.
Hope you bring your tie.
Thank you for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.